Good morning. We are headed up to Park City to check out my Wildland Firefighter friend's school bus they've been living in. So about 2 years ago, these Wildland Firefighters were actually homeless, and then they just bought this house, and most of it is thankfully because they lived in a bus for a while. So this is the bus that they bought, and they'll tell you more about it. They're both actually not home right now. This was their home for a while, which allowed them to save up enough money to buy their own house, and it's a fixer-upper right now, but it's on a lot of land in a beautiful part of Utah. The mountains are right there, so they're always out skiing.
My name's Cameron. This is my short bus. I lived in it about 15 months. It's pretty simple setup. Nothing too special. It keeps you warm. The reason why I even built this bus, I was working during the fire season, and our landlord kicked us out when we were out on the Pioneer Fire without service. When we got back, we didn't have a house. We had a metal shelled bus. So we decided to move into it. We ran all the wiring and stuff to an RV hookup, so you can hook up anywhere. It's just got a bed. It's got a nice battery bank over here. It's not too complicated of a setup, but it's a solenoid that runs to our main battery. So when the vehicle's on, this solenoid turns on and it charges these batteries, and it goes to this inverter, which then can power anything in the bus. We also installed a heater, a diesel heater. So that's an Airtronic Eberspacher heater, and it is tapped into the diesel tank, and it's ran off a thermostat. We installed that ourselves. The thermostat's over here. So I have to set the temperature. There's 72 degrees. You turn it up, blowing out some hot heat.
Yeah, oh, that is hot.
Very hot.
And then it heats up this whole place fast. How long can you run it?
So it can run for 24 hours straight, and if I run it for 24 hours straight, it uses about a gallon of diesel, which is not bad at all. So I usually keep 5-gallon Jerry's on the back rack, which is not on there right now, just in case we're sitting in a spot for too long and we run out of diesel. We just fill it back up and stay warm. These light switches are wired into these LED lights. This is kind of like a quick fix to having no light. Nothing too special. These other ones we wired to the stereo system, which you can see there's a lot of speakers in here because we like to party. We work for 6 months out of the year. Usually 2 weeks on, 2 days off. It's very demanding and it takes up a lot of time. So when we found out that our house got sold, we only had 2 days off to get all of our stuff out of it. So we donated a lot of our stuff and trashed a bunch of our stuff and took on the Mentalist Lifestyle. So during the fire season, I would park this thing up at the flight park, the Utah Flight Park. It's free parking, and they have Wi-Fi up there for anyone trying to travel there. We would park up there, and it was a few blocks away from our fire station, so when we were off fires, we'd come up here and play video games on the TV and stuff, and then get the free Wi-Fi, watch Netflix, and when we got our fire calls, I'd just drive down the road and park it at the station. So living in the bus, I didn't have to pay rent on that crappy rental house that I was in, so I saved a lot of money, and all I was really paying for was gas and repairs, and that didn't amount to too much, so I saved a lot of money and I put a down payment on a home. So I'm no longer renting or homeless. Now I own this nice little home in Midway, Utah, and it's awesome. The bus was used a lot of like recycled materials. This bamboo wall is actually bamboo core for snowboards at the ramp factory, which was in Park City, and they shut down. So they had a big sale. Some of my buddies picked up a bunch of this wood and they gave it to me for free. So my bus is a moving snowboard core. Before we had the bed here, we welded some hammock hooks into these walls. So there can actually sleep 2 hammocks, one hanging from here down to that end, and one hanging from here down to that end. And it'll sleep 5 to 6 people pretty comfortably, as long as you have an air mattress over here or something. But yeah, before we had the bed, we were just hammocking up and hanging out.
How do the ladies like it?
Oh, the ladies love it. That's a lie. We built all of these power outlets everywhere, and they all run to this box right here, which was a learning session in itself. I wired it wrong the first time and nothing would work, and I couldn't figure out why. After a few YouTube videos, I figured it out. But yeah, it's basically a little RV. I've got a little generator for it, so if I was running my computer or trying to do work on my computer, I would turn on my generator and not stress out the batteries as much. So when I first started looking for a bus, I wasn't sure what I wanted. I was looking for an RV, but all the RVs were outdated and they had a lot of issues. And then I came across this little school bus on KSL, which is like the Craigslist of Utah. And a family was trying to sell it for about $5,000. I didn't have the money to buy it for $5,000, but I thought it'd be a cool idea to go check it out anyway as an option. I went down there, looked at it. The bus had no problems. It was totally outfitted with seats and a wheelchair lift and everything. I told the guys, like, I don't have enough money to buy it. I really like your bus, and I left. And about 5 minutes down the road, they called me and they told me that they'd sell it to me for $2,000. Some of the issues with this bus in particular, and something I would do different, I would go for a different chassis and a different style bus, preferably one that you could pull the motor out from the hood. This bus needs to be lifted all the way up to get the motor out. So that's the only problem with this bus. When I first got it, I was running it up and down Parley's Canyon, which is a very steep mountain grade road, and I burnt out my gears in the transmission, and it stopped shifting into reverse. So I got stuck up at the flight park, and I was not able to reverse out for a while until I had someone pull me out. And we replaced the transmission with the remanufactured transmission, and it costed about $2,800. So that was the only setback we had mechanically. Other than that, the bus has run fine. It's been to Ohio and back twice. It's been up and down Eisenhower Pass in Colorado twice.
You like this bus, don't you? I don't blame you. It's a pretty nice bus. Got a pretty nice home here.
Thanks. I didn't know how to wire anything before I started this. It was all part of the journey. Everything's a learning process, and I was pretty nervous about it, but I don't have skills in anything like electrical or carpentry, but just learning it along the way makes this thing that much more special.